It is time for Rich Rebel Sports on 98.3 KADQ and MyLocalRadio.com. Rebel Sports brought to you in part by the Rich School District, Evanston Regional Hospital, Ready, Westar Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, the Come On In, the Station on Main, Les Schwab Plains Tire, Stacy's Repair, Summit Pizza, Little Springs Water, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, Ellingford Brothers, Hometown Drive-In, the Town of Woodruff, T7 Propane, Bear Lake Realty, Independent Software Solutions, McKay Frankham DDS, and the Crawford Trough. Let's go to the Les Schwab Plains Tire broadcast booth and join the voice of the Rebels, Aaron Poling.
Welcome to the Les Schwab Plains Tire's broadcast booth, as it is time for the Summit Pizza pregame show as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at MyLocalRadio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ. Rebels are going to play the Monticello Buckaroos in a rematch of last year's quarterfinals. As we're going to set the scene here in a second as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at MyLocalRadio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ. When we come back, we'll have the Little Springs Water scene set for today's action.
When pizza is calling your name, order a Summit Pizza. With homemade dough and all fresh ingredients, every pizza is a culinary masterpiece. Owners Thad and Melissa Willis are rich high school alumni. They continue the Rebel tradition of excellence and service. Feed your taste buds, feel the happiness with a fresh homemade pizza from Summit Pizza. Don't forget the Doodles, a Summit Pizza original creation. Summit Pizza, 70 West Logan Road, Garden City.
Welcome to the town of Randolph, located in northern Utah. The first group of settlers came from St. Charles, Idaho in March of 1870. We are a town of great extremes, from 90 degrees in the summer to minus 40 degrees in the winter, and we hold the record for the coldest temperature ever recorded in Utah at minus 50 degrees. Randolph is a small, friendly community that strives to preserve our rural heritage and small town feel. Enjoy the feeling each time you visit Randolph. Go Rebels!
If you've never heard a mechanic say they truly care, then you've been at the wrong place. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff is a family-owned and operated business open since 1992. Offering all types of maintenance and repair services, you can be sure your vehicle is operating at its best. Whether your vehicle is older or the newest model, gas or diesel, we fix and maintain them all. Also offering chip repair, windshield replacement, and tires. When your vehicle needs a mechanic, bring it to the ones who truly care. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tire's broadcast booth, as it is time for the Little Springs Water scene set for today's show, on today's pregame show, and we're going to bring in a special guest as we bring in my color commentator for today's action, Rob Leifson. Rob, what do you have for us?
Well, this is a unique venue, Aaron. I've been in the UVU Center for several events, and this one is kind of crazy, trying to put 4 volleyball games on one floor. It gets a little bit chaotic, let's just put it that way. A lot easier when you get down to the championship game and you've only got one going on at a time, but it is a fantastic arena, a great venue. We've been in Richfield for a few years, back to UVU where we've been before for state championship volleyball.
Yeah, this is a really nice venue. The Rebels are going to play the Buckaroos. I was talking to the head coach of the Monticello Buckaroos. I just happened to ask someone to help me out with pronunciation. Just happened to be the Monticello head coach. And this is a Monticello team that has revenge on their mind. Obviously, last year, Rich ended their season. And this is a Monticello team that's not real happy with where they finished in the RPI. I mean, it kind of sounded like they feel like they should have been in the Wendover. They should have been playing Wendover instead of Monument Valley. But that's kind of the way the RPI works. I'm sure and she actually mentioned this to me. I'm sure the Rebels feel the same way about being behind Tabiona. But that's just kind of the way that it works. It's not a perfect science. It's a very imperfect science. So for both these teams, they're kind of not in a position where they want to be, but still got to get it done. And I think the Rebels are very capable of doing so. As you know, their first match, they played really well in 3 of the 4 sets. Outside of that third set where things just kind of got away from them a little bit. But we talked about a team with their back up against the wall. They're going to come out swinging the way that Milford did, and I think it's good for the Rebels to see that early on, that, that third set's not going to be a cakewalk no matter who you're playing. You're going to get a team with fire that's going to try to, keep their season alive.
And the good thing for the Rebels, even though they got themselves in a deep hole, they were able to come back, tie it up, even take a lead before falling 25-23 in that fourth set, or the third set.
Yeah, so it was good to see them respond, but, obviously you can't fall behind that way, the way they did. But none of that matters because they won that first game 3-1. They're in the quarterfinals right now against the Monticello Buckaroos. It'll be the 6th seed taking on the 3 seed. We come back, we'll hear from Casey Wilson, this week's T7 Propane Standout Student of the Week. You're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Whether it's for your home, your ranch, your equipment, or your business, when you need propane, count on the best. T7 Propane in Woodruff. The safe and professional team at T7 Propane offers quality product and the most responsive propane service in the area, so you can enjoy the affordability, reliability, and efficiency of propane. For heating, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for your personal or business propane needs. 435-793-4208.
Rich School District has a legendary history of student success in the classroom and in other areas. Over 70% of Rich High students are involved in extracurricular activities. Participation in the classroom, on the field, in the gym, or on the stage helps students reach their potential. Working together with students, the community, and an amazing staff, we have the opportunity to build tomorrow's leaders. Rich School District, focusing on success, one student at a time.
When you need automotive service on your car, truck, semi, or tractor, call Clay and the team at J-Bar Auto in Randolph. J-Bar Auto also offers competitive pricing on tires for all vehicles. Call or stop by J-Bar Auto today.
Here with Casey Wilson, senior at Rich High School, and this week's T7 Propane Standout Student of the Week. Casey, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad that you're able to join me, as it's kind of been a little bit of a hectic week. I'm sure it's been super hectic for you guys, getting prepared for the state tournament. What's this week's practice been like?
This week's practice, it's been pretty rough. We've been doing a lot of sixes, so we're getting a lot of touches on the ball and just playing hard, and a lot of competition into this week's practice to get us prepared for this weekend.
So when you say sixes, for those for viewers at home or like me who aren't quite sure what sixes are, what do you mean by that?
So it's just like a kind of a normal volleyball game. It's where we have 6 people on each side of the net, and we're just playing back and forth. Every time the ball's up in the air, we're just playing back and forth.
Gotcha. You guys have a lot of experience coming back from last year's state tournament. Obviously, we all know how that ended. But I got to imagine that run last year, it's got to make you feel confident going into this year, correct?
Yes, I'm very confident in my team, and I know that we can pull it off this year too.
Over the last couple weeks, what are some of the things that you guys have done to prepare for the state tournament?
In the last couple of weeks, we played some really tough teams in our so we went down to the Richfield tournament, and then we went to Lyman, and those are really tough teams to play against, and that just gets us prepared for those, just playing better teams to make us better and to make us work harder. So that's one thing that we've been doing a lot.
So let's turn to a little bit outside of volleyball. What are some of your hobbies? What do you do in your spare time?
I love to be outside, so I've been hunting. I've got a deer tag, so I've been hunting, and I love to just work on our ranch that we have and just be outside, so it's really fun.
Any particular animal or any trophy that you've gotten over the years that you want to talk about?
So I do 4-H, and so I was able to sell my pig this last year, and I've done 4-H for the last 9 years of my life, so it's been really good just to help me be able to work with animals and gain a relationship with those. That's
super cool to hear about. Going back to volleyball, you have a really important position on the volleyball team that I think often gets overlooked, and that's the setter position. Just because you guys handle the ball so much, it's almost like the point guard to a basketball team. You guys handle the ball so much, and sometimes when we all see the ending of the play, but that pass is just as important. Can you go ahead and talk about your role on the team and the setter position as a whole?
Yes, So being a setter is because you have so many different people you're trying to set for. So I have middle hitters that need the ball lower, but then I have outside hitters that need the ball higher. And so can be really stressful. But being able to manage that stress it pays off because I know that I can do it. And I have amazing coaches that help me to be able to believe in myself be able to do it. And my teammates are very helpful with that too, as they cheer me on and tell me that I have great sets. So it's really helpful to have great teammates.
One last question for you. What should the world know about Casey Wilson?
The world should know that I work very hard for what I do, and I work very hard in anything, and I love to be able to help people and just cheer people on.
We want to thank Casey Wilson for being a part of the T7 Propane Standout Student of the Week interview on the Summit Pizza pregame show. When we come back, we'll hear from head coach of the Rich Rebels, Donnell Wasden. You're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
When you have an emergency, choose Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Open 24/7, the professional emergency room staff is trained for trauma, medical, cardiac, pediatric, orthopedic, and obstetric emergencies. Bear Lake Memorial is a critical access level 3 trauma center, offering immediate access to radiology, lab services, surgery, and internal medicine consults. The ER teams are well-trained professionals who are ready to act. When you have an emergency, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, the most caring hospital on earth.
The team at T7 Propane in Woodruff is always cheering for the Rich Rebels, in sports, in the classroom, and in life. For quality professional propane service, call T7 Propane in Woodruff, 435-793-4208. When you're hungry for an amazing breakfast, just like Grandma used to make, visit our bakery on Main Street in Randolph. We hand make fresh pastries for you to enjoy. Supporting the Rich Rebels and thanking you for your business, visit our bakery today.
Ready is committed to providing superior services to our customers by requiring individual accountability for excellence in quality, safety, and dependability. We are a growing company that is currently hiring across Wyoming, Colorado, Texas, Nevada, Idaho, and elsewhere. Our valued team members receive competitive wages, full benefits, and weekly pay. Interested in joining our team? Visit ReadyUSA.com. We are ready.
The best trips away from home always come when you know you're among friends. This is Coulter Patterson, General Manager at the Come On In Hotel and Suites in Casper, Wyoming. I invite you to stay with us every time you're here. We've got the absolute best staff. Lots of our team members have been working together for years, and we feel like we're a happy family. I guarantee you'll feel that when you come stay with us. We're always glad that you choose the Come On In, and we'll do everything to make your stay comfortable and relaxing. The Come On In Hotel and Suites is the best place to stay because we have the best staff in Casper. Come on in today.
When participating in sports, there's always a lot to talk about performing at the top of your game. I'd like to expand on that and ask, how about performing at the top of your game in every part of your life? This is Dr. Todd Hoover with Hoover Chiropractic. I offer solutions to help improve all aspects of your game called life. Pain management, migraines, allergies, emotional release, nutritional supplements based on blood tests, and improved athletic performance. To help you perform at the top of your game every day, call today to schedule an appointment in Evanston or in Kemmer. Hoover Chiropractic, 307-789-0043.
Success doesn't come by accident. Success requires hard work, perseverance, learning, sacrifice, and believing in yourself. Eddie and Todd Jensen established the Mound Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho on these very principles. The students, staff, athletes, and coaches at Rich High School value these same fundamentals in education and activities, in athletics, and in life. Good luck, Rebels, from Mound Valley Cattle Company, serving customers in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming since 1997.
Here with the head coach of the Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team, that's head coach Donnell Wasden. Coach Wasden, how you doing today?
Good, thank you.
So this week's the week. I mean, can you just kind of talk about some of the excitement? I'm honestly getting goosebumps right now just thinking about the tournament. How are the players reacting, and how is the excitement level at practice each day?
We had a great week of practice last week. Everyone was working hard, and you can tell that they're excited because of how hard they're working.
So can you just kind of give us a little bit of a recap of how your guys' last week went? Last week was the bye week, so you had a full week of practice. You'll also have another full week of practice.
So last week we started the week with some sixes, and then we ended the week doing some competition tournaments where everyone got to touch the ball a lot. They competed hard against each other. We worked on some hitting and some blocking and serving and passing and all the things. But the nice thing is they were competing and working hard. So I feel like they're peaking at the right time.
Would you say competition is probably the best way to avoid becoming rusty or the best way to avoid not being ready for the tournament?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think remaining competitive and trying to get better every day definitely is going to help us stay ready for the tournament, especially where we had that bye.
I know as a coach, you probably look at one game at a time, but I'm a media member, and that's something we just simply do not do when it comes to tournament brackets. Yourself, have you looked down the bracket to possibly see what could be after the matchup with Milford?
Yes, we definitely have.
So what about the...
No, yeah. Yep. I was just going to say, we have looked down the bracket and looked at what possible teams could be there. So
what has kind of stood out to you the way the bracket has kind of fallen into place?
I'm actually really grateful for where we're at in the bracket. There's definitely some good teams on our side, and then also some great teams on the other side. So I just know whoever we play, we need to be ready for each and every game.
We want to thank Coach Wasden for being a part of today's Bear Lake Memorial Hospital pregame coaches show as the Rebels look like they're about to get going. On the floor to the opposite side is Paiute and Tabiona, They're playing on floor number 2. That's a matchup to keep interest in, Rob.
It is, and I'm not sure. I think that was just the second point of the set.
I was going to say that was the first point of the match. It's 1-0. As Tabiona goes up on top, 2-0. As they get the last checks in, we're ready to go. We're not here to bring you Tabiona versus Paiute. We're here to bring you Rich versus Monticello as they high-five under the net. Ceremonials underway as we're about ready to get going. It's quarterfinal action live from the UCCU Center here in Orem, Utah. I'm Aaron Poling. That's Rob Leifson. Thank you so much for joining us, as unfortunately it's an it's an audio-only broadcast, as we unfortunately do not have the rights. But we appreciate you tuning in and listening either way. I've heard some people, Rob, you kind of taught me this trick where they'd time up my radio broadcast with the KSL live stream, and that seems like a very interesting way to watch a volleyball game, as the Buckaroos look like they're going to serve first. My guess, based on the personnel on the floor for the Rebels. Across the back line, you've got Smith, the libero, Cassie Argyle, Ava Ellsworth. Across the front line for the Rebels, there's 7 players out on the floor. That's why that didn't make sense. But across the front row, it'll probably be Taylor, Pugmire, Wilson, as Smith's going to check in for Wallenstein. She does. They slap 5 high above their heads. That is why they call it a high 5, Rob, and we are about ready to go. Monticello will serve first. It's going to be Taylor Berry, one of 2 twins on this team, her and Hannah Berry. They are twins, as they are part of the collective that make this Monticello group run, as Berry's serve will be over, received by Smith, and we are underway. The Rebels, with a miscommunication there, bump it backwards, out of bounds. Tough start to the match for the Rebels, as they fall 1-0 on the Station on main scoreboard. Berry will serve again, as that's Taylor Berry. Received by Pugmire. Rebels set it up. Go Taylor, left wing with the right hand, as she lets it go, deflected high into the air, out of bounds as the Rebels pick the point up. Kill number 1 of the match for Violet Taylor. That's 17 unofficially on the day for Violet already today, Rob.
Over 350 for the season, Aaron.
Katie Pugmire will serve. Left-handed serve received in the back row by Shayla Pearson, as the Buckaroos will bump it over. It's going to end up being a point for the Buckaroos, as that playover from Monticello gave the Rebels a little bit of fits, as Pugmire will check out, Smith will check in. Buckaroos to serve, as that's Elise Lewis. That's going to be out of bounds across that back line, and we are tied 2-2 on the Station on main scoreboard, as Wilson will serve. Serve over, received in the back row by Lewis, kept alive by the Buckaroos, bumped over by Young, Sliding effort to keep it alive by Argyles. Wilson will bump it right back. Buckaroos look to set up their attack. They do. To the outside. That's deflected high in the air by the front row. Back to the Buckaroos side as they tried to set up Young on the attack. Played over as Smith chases it down in the back corner. Ellsworth's going to bump it back over as the Buckaroos look to set up their attack. They do. This time middle of the floor as Pearson has to fall back. Rebels with the ability to set their attack up. They go Taylor left wing, and that is buried off the back line. No pun intended, to Taylor Berry, as that did hit Taylor Berry in the arms to go out of bounds across the sideline. Second kill for Violet Taylor. Wilson to serve. Serve over. That's going to go out of bounds as Lewis came flying in to try to make that play. She moved her arm at the last second, or else that point would have gone to the Rebels as Madison Adair checks out. Checking in is Kaylee Adair. Ball played over the Buckaroo side. They try to tip it over. Argyle sniffs that out as Wallentyne. We're actually going to get a whistle blown as the Buckaroos went too far over the net on the attack. Rebels go up 4-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Scott checks in, Taylor will serve.
First unforced error on the Buckaroos.
Taylor's serve received in the back row by the Buckaroos. They set up middle of the floor attack. That's going to go out of bounds across that back line. They set up Young again as the second unforced error against the Buckaroos gives the Rebels a 5-3 lead. Taylor will serve. Right-handed jump serve from the middle of the floor. Received in that back row by Lewis. Adair will bump it over to Taylor, middle of the back row. Rebels set up Scott left wing with the right hand. She attacks. A couple of Monticello Buckaroos run into each other, but they keep the play alive as the Buckaroos attack. They're going to score as Young finds the hardwood in front of Violet Taylor from that left wing side. That's a great effort there from, I believe that was Lewis and Hannah Berry that ran into each other. Serve coming from the Buckaroos. Played over, received by Smith. Rebels set up the attack to Ellsworth on the opposite side as she finds the hardwood. Ava Ellsworth with the kill there. Puts the Rebels on top 6-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard as she played it between all 6 of the Buckaroo defenders. Checking in for the Rebels, Pugmire. Wallentyne checking out as Smith will serve. Right-handed jump serve over the net. Received in the back row by Young. Buckaroo set up the attack as that's off of Taylor, out of bounds. Give Taylor Berry the kill. 6-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Violet Taylor with a lunging effort to her left. No avail, but that'll send Shayla Pearson to the line to serve. Right-handed serve over, received by Scott. Rebels go right back to Hannah on the left wing as she tips it high in the air. Kaylee Adair there to read it. Keep it alive as an attack from the Buckaroos goes out of bounds as it looks like that caught the side of the hand of Berry as it goes out of bounds across the left wing sideline. 7-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Speaking of sevens, Ava Ellsworth will serve. Ball over with the right hand, dug out in the back row by the Buckaroos, having trouble getting it over, and we're going to get a double hit called against the Buckaroos as that was a very good serve from Ava there. Put the Buckaroos in a bind. Rebels go on top 8-5.
Got a nice spin on that serve.
Ellsworth back to the line, serves, lets it go. Dug out back row by Pearson. They set up Berry. That's blocked at the front of the net. I believe Pugmire got her hands to it as Ava Ellsworth keeps that attack alive. Buckaroos will set up again. They go to Adair on the opposite side as Taylor's able to read that. Rebels set up Scott left wing. She unloads with the right hand off the front line, directly sideways out of bounds, and the Rebels lead 9-5 as Hannah Scott picks up the kill. I believe her first.
It is of the match, but Ava Ellsworth's dig on that putback was amazing.
I would say that was Stacy's Repair instant replay worthy, but unless you want to watch a replay of our audio-only screen. Attack from the Buckaroos that's blocked high in the air by Pugmire. She's had a great day at the front of the net. She's going to get an attack middle of the floor. Adair there to pick it out. Set up the attack for Taylor Berry. A Smith with a nice dig. Wilson trying to keep that inbounds. It hit the antenna. Point will go to the Buckaroos as that ball just barely caught the antenna. Tough break for the Rebels as Kaylee Adair will serve. Right-handed serve goes into the net as the Rebels will pick up the point on the service error. 10-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Scott will serve.
Second service error on the Buckaroos in the set.
Scott approaches. A lob serve, and that's an ace for Hannah Scott. As that ball lands between all 6 defenders. Hannah threw the change up there, Rob. You know as a baseball fan what's coming next. Well, what's coming next is a timeout, but
then we'll look for the fastball.
Yeah, we'll get to the fastball when we come back as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Great signage is an important component to any successful business. It lets your customers know they have arrived at your doors, and it's a constant advertisement of who you are. When you install LED signage, you're taking it one step further. The ability to create color messages that move is an attention grabber. Plus, you can change the message whenever you would like. Make your business stand out with an LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign, providing service, installation, and maintenance on all signage. Rocky Mountain Sign, licensed in Wyoming and Utah. Call today for a quote, 307-789-5202.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. Hannah Scott coming off the ace, awaiting the final word. As we get that final word, we are ready to go. Scott, right-handed jump serve, ball in the air, as that's a high lobber received by Madison Adair, the libero. They set up Barry as that's deflected high in the air to Paige Smith, middle of the back row. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing as that's blocked back into her face. Off the Rebels, out of bounds. Great defensive play there by Hannah Barry. 11-7 on the station on main scoreboard. She got her hands to that one. Scott will check out. Argyle will check in. Serve over, received by the Rebels Smith. They set up Pugmire middle of the floor. She'll attack, tips it over. Kept alive by the Buckaroos. They go middle of the floor attack. That's off of Ellsworth, high in the air. Kept alive as Argyle's able to bump it over. Great defensive play on the Lewis attack. As here comes another attack that's out of bounds as Ava Ellsworth makes the play. That attack from Young goes out of bounds, and I'm not sure if that caught her up high. I think we got to credit Ava's face for that one, Rob.
Yeah, that was pure self-defense.
I mean, she's showing bravery a lot this year where she just stands in there, takes it for the team as a serve goes over, received by the Buckaroos, played into the net by Lewis. 13-7 on the station on main scoreboard as Pugmire will serve again with the left hand. Ball over, received by Pearson. Back to the Rebel side as they'll set up. Middle of the floor, Wallentyne, she lets it go, and that is blocked down to the floor on the Buckaroo side. Rebels pick up the point. 14-7 on the station on main scoreboard as Pugmire will serve again. Lets it go with that left hand. A little bit of a curveball to the back left corner for Pearson. Buckaroos having troubles getting it back over, unable to do so. 15-7 on the station on main scoreboard.
One of those, I got it, you take it.
It's Pugmire back to the line to serve. Lets it go with the left hand. Another curveball. That finds Pearson in the back row. Middle of the floor for Barry. As Casey Wilson tried to make a kick save. There's a violation called against the Buckaroos, so Rebels will pick up the point. I'm sure they'll take that as Taylor Barry buried that one. Man, sorry. Bad pun. Didn't mean to do that, but she had to kill. This violation gives the ball back to the Rebels as Madison Adair with the dig. She'll attack from the back row. Pugmire with the dig. Wilson dump set, finds Madison Adair. And the back left corner as they set up. Diving effort from the back row to keep it alive. Unfortunately, Rebels unable to get to it on the second hit as Pugmire dove for that ball. She got to it. Unfortunately, it just went behind her where none of the other Rebels were. 16-8 on the station on main scoreboard. Serve from the Buckaroos over. Into the net as that's Lewis with the serve. 17-8 on the station on main scoreboard as Wilson will serve for the Rebels.
At this stage, Aaron, those service errors kill you.
Wilson lets it go with the right hand. The back row, dug out by the Buckaroos. They set up middle of the floor for Pearson. As a tip is going to lead to a point for the Buckaroos. 3 different Rebels had diving efforts to get to the ball. Unfortunately, none of them can get over, but they still lead 17-9 on the station on main scoreboard as that serve from Hannah Barry is going to be an ace off of Argyle out of bounds. 17-10 on the station on main scoreboard. As I love what Ava did right there, Rob. She runs over to Cassie, lets her know that she's all right because you got to know she's going to get the ball again eventually on a serve. That one received by Taylor. They go right back to her on the left wing. She attacks. That's down to the floor. As Violet Taylor's reaction kind of says it all. I don't think she's expecting that one to fall in, but she placed it in the right spot.
We talked about it earlier, Aaron. When Casey Wilson gives her a set in the right spot, it's money.
Taylor's serve, diving effort in the back row by the Buckaroos, keeps it alive before Adair, Kaylee type, plays it over. Rebels go to Scott, left wing. She attacks off the back line, out of bounds as the Rebels go on top 19-10 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Taylor will serve again. But not before we get a timeout called by the Monticello Buckaroos as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ.
Established in 1872, Woodruff, Utah has a long history of good neighbors helping each other succeed. Woodruff was built with hard work, integrity, and a sense of community that can be felt every time you visit. We have always celebrated all students in academics and extracurricular activities, and we cheer on our Rich Rebels. Woodruff, Utah, a great place to live.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. 19-10 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels on top as Taylor will serve.
It's been a really clean set, Aaron. Only 4 unforced errors for the Rebels, only 1 service error. Monticello, 8 unforced errors and 3 service errors. Those are costly in a high importance of a match like this.
Hannah Scott's going to check in. Or actually, no, Hannah Scott was on the floor before the serve. My bad. Violet Taylor will serve. Lets it go with the right hand. Received in the back row by Pearson. As they go right back to Pearson on the left wing. Taylor, the diving effort, keeps it alive. They go to Scott, left wing from the 10-foot line. Her attack off the arms of a Buckaroo player. They're not going to be able to return that as a good attack there from Scott. Kind of rode up the arms of Allie Young. As that will fall in on the Buckaroo side. Fortunately, stats-wise for Hannah, she doesn't get a kill, but I think she'd rather take the 20-10 lead. As that serve from Taylor, dug out middle of the back row. They set up Barry. I believe that's Taylor Barry in the back left corner. She attacks. That falls in. 20-11 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Kind of shows you who they want to go the ball to, Rob.
Absolutely.
Serve over, received by Smith. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing. She attacks, lets it go off the defender. Heading towards a cheer squad for the Buckaroos. Played back to the middle. Good effort defensively by the Buckaroos to keep that alive. Rebels will set up their attack. Scott from the left wing pushes it down that corner. Finds the hardwood in that back left corner. Hannah Scott using precision there. We talked about throwing the changeup. Right there, she took a little off to be able to place that one in the back left corner.
She probably felt bad that first kill didn't made it back because that was great defense on the Buckaroo part.
Smith with the serve, tips the tape. That's going to fall in for an ace. That happened a bunch of times to the Rebels in the first game, so it's a little nice to see that ball fall in the other way.
Gives Paige her 25th ace of the season.
22-11 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Smith serves again. Ball over, received in the back row by Lewis. We get a whistle blown.
I think we're out of rotation on the Buckaroo side.
23-11 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Smith will go back to the line to serve. As Monticello's talking it out, yeah, it was out of rotation. Smith will serve again. Serve over, received in the back row by Pearson. They set up Barry on the left wing side, read by the Rebels. Rebels go to Pugmire on the left wing. Her attack gives the Buckaroos some trouble. They're going to set up the attack again. They go right to Scott, middle of the floor. She attacks. That's blocked back to the Rebels side. As Scott will attack again. That's blocked again. Pugmire underneath this one. Rebels will attack with Pugmire. She tips it over the front line to make sure it gets over. Buckaroo set up Kaylee Adair on the opposite side. That finds Taylor. Rebels go to Scott. She attacks middle of the floor. Good read in the back row by Lewis to keep it alive. As Adair's going to bump it over. Rebels look to set up their attack. They do. Scott, middle of the floor, trying to find that back corner. Off the arms of a Buckaroo, out of bounds. 24-11 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Set point in the hands of the Rebels coming up. And Rob, that's one thing they did in the first match. They moved Hannah a little bit to the middle blocker, and that gives you an entirely different look with the lefty Pugmire on the left wing side coming back across the ball with her left arm. Smith, her serve, received in the back row by Young. Buckaroos set up as Wilson lunges to her left to keep it alive. Played back to Taylor, who's going to bump it over. Buckaroos looking to play it over. They do with Young. Rebels set up their attack. Middle of the floor, Scott unloads with the right hand. Off the back row, kicked into the air. Rebels pick up the point, 25-11 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As we'll come right back with set number 2. You're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ.
Ready has provided safety and excellence in industrial construction and support services since 1982. From insulation and scaffolding to paintings and coatings, our crews are standing by to assist with new construction, maintenance projects, facility shutdowns, and more. Contact us today to ensure your assets are protected and functional. Interested in joining our team? Visit ReadyUSA.com. We are ready.
The best trips away from home always come when you know you're among friends. This is Coulter Patterson, General Manager at the Come On In Hotel and Suites in Casper, Wyoming. I invite you to stay with us every time you're here. We've got the absolute best staff. Lots of our team members have been working together for years, and we feel like we're a happy family. I guarantee you'll feel that when you come stay with us. We're always glad that you choose the Come On In, and we'll do everything to make your stay comfortable and relaxing. The Come On In Hotel and Suites is the best place to stay because we have the best staff in Casper. Come on in today.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. Rebels on top, 1-0. 25-11, they win set number 1 as we're going to meet your 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team.
Hi, I'm Casey Wilson. I am going to be a senior this year, and I will be playing varsity setter.
Hi, my name is Naya Jolly. I'm going to be varsity opposite, which is right side, and I'll be a senior.
I'm Janie Valentine. I'm going to be a senior, and I will be a middle blocker on varsity.
My name is Hannah Scott. I'm going to be a senior, and I am playing varsity outside hitter.
Good, it's your girl Violet Taylor, a.k.a. V-Swizzle, and this year I'll be playing varsity outside.
My name is Ava Ellsworth. I play all around right side, and I'm a senior.
Hey, I'm Haiti Pugmire. I'm going to be a senior, and I'm playing middle blocker on varsity.
Hey, I'm Brinley Hatch. I'm going to be a junior this year, and I play middle blocker.
Hi, I'm Cassie Argyle. I'm going to be a junior this year, and I play outside hitter.
Hi, my name is Leah Peterson, and I'm going to be a sophomore, and I'm playing outside hitter.
Bella Wheeler. I'm a sophomore. I'm probably going to play opposite.
Paige Smith, sophomore, outside hitter.
My name is Tyler Pugmire. I'll be a sophomore, and I'm playing middle.
I'm Tess Cornia. I'm a sophomore, and I'm a setter.
I'm Avery Weston. I'm a sophomore, and I play opposite.
I'm Braylon Pugmire. I'm a freshman. I'll be playing outside hitter.
I'm Lacey McKinnon, and I'm a freshman, and I'm going to be a middle hitter.
I'm Molly Weston, and I'm a freshman, and I'll be playing outside hitter.
I'm Jalen Lutz. I'm going to be a freshman, and I'm a setter.
My name is Lida Taylor. I'm going to be a freshman, and I want to play middle hitter.
My name is Kelsey Heiner. I'm going to be a freshman, and I'm going to be back left.
I'm Chaisley Levitt, and I'm going to be a freshman, and I think I'm going to play JV, middle hitter.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth as we quickly go to Rob Leifson to recap that first set.
Rebels 10 kills to Monticello 6, 2 aces for the Rebels, 1 for the Buckaroos. Only 4 unforced errors by the Rebels, 10 by the Buckaroos. 1 service error. That was the clean set by the Rebels. 3 unforced service errors for the Buckaroos. I'd say the highlight of that set, Hannah Scott with 5 kills. One of those just a bullet, but then she came back with a 2-hand push in that far corner twice. We talked earlier this season, Aaron, about having multiple attacks, seeing 3 kills from Violet, 5 from Hannah, 1 from Janie, 1 from Ava. That's championship volleyball right there.
That's multiple attacks, and not only just multiple attacks, the way they moved Hannah and Haiti around, obviously you can't switch where they are at in the rotation, but after the serve, there are times where Hannah goes to the middle, Haiti goes to the middle, and it's much different as Scott leads us off in set number 2 as Barry gets the dig. Lewis with the attack finds Smith back row. Rebel set up Taylor, left wing, right hand. Good read there by Barry to keep it alive as Adair, Kaylee type will attack out of bounds across the back line. 1-0 Rebels on the Station on Main scoreboard as Kaylee Adair and the libero Madison Adair, they are cousins, but Taylor Barry, Hannah Barry, they are twin sisters. Speaking of Hannah, Scott lets the serve go. It's a high lob, diving effort from the Buckaroos. They tip it over. Rebels look to set up their attack. They do. Taylor left wing as she unloads on that ball. It's blocked to the floor by Lewis. I think it was Lewis. She didn't really give much of a reaction As it's 1-1 on the station on main scoreboard. As Scott checks out, Argyle checks in. Serve coming from the liberos, Addison Adair. Right hand serve over, received by Smith as Rebels will set up Taylor left wing. She lets that one go. That is off the back row, out of bounds. 2-1 on the station on main scoreboard as Taylor picks up the kill. Smith's going to check out. Wallentine's going to check in as Pugmire will serve.
No block attempt on that one by the Buckaroos, and Violet puts that one straight to the floor.
Pugmire serve over, received in the back row by Lewis. As they go to Hannah Berry, her attack that's blocked by Wilson as Casey tries that back corner. Good read there by Madison Adair to keep it alive. Played over to the Rebels. Argyle with the dig. Rebels go to Taylor on the attack. That's off of Adair, out of bounds. 3-1 on the station on main scoreboard as Madison Adair could not keep that one in. I think Monticello's done their homework a bit, Rob. They have a defender standing right on that sideline where the Rebels like to go. See if the Rebels can make a little bit of an adjustment there. Serve from Pugmire. Barely kept alive by the Buckaroos. Dug out by Wilson as Pugmire's just going to push it over. Madison Adair with the dig. They set up middle of the floor. An attack goes too far out of bounds from Lewis. 4-1 on the station on main scoreboard as the Rebels will serve again with Pugmire.
It's a great set. She just didn't get over the top of that one.
Left-handed serve over. Received in the back row by Pearson. Played over to the Rebels' side as Wilson's going to bump it back to the Buckaroos. They set up the attack. They go opposite side for Hannah Berry. Good dig there from Argyle. As Wallentine, a little bit of a reverse tip there, goes over. Buckaroos read it well. Rebels will set up Taylor left wing. She attacks. That's to the hardwood. That's 5-1 on the station on main scoreboard for the Rebels. But, Rob, the most athletic play was the behind-the-head tip there from Janie Wallentine. That's kind of impressive. Almost looked like a reverse layup there. Serve over from Pugmire, received in the back row by Pearson. Buckaroos will bump it over as Argyle digs that out, middle of the back row. Rebels set up Taylor right wing with the left hand. That goes into the net, and instead of hitting it for the fourth time, she lets it fall to the floor. 5-2 on the station on main scoreboard as Pugmire will check out.
Set just a little too close to the net. Didn't give Violet much of a chance with that one.
Smith back in. Serve received by Argyle as Wilson can't get there. That's going to be an ace for the Buckaroos. 5-3 on the station on main scoreboard. As credit that ace to Taylor Berry, who will serve again. Her right-handed jump serve off the arms of Smith as Taylor's able to chase it down, kept alive. Wallentine plays it over as that goes out of bounds across the near sidelines. Ava Ellsworth fell down on that play as she was probably in the best position for the second hit, but she fell. Good hustle by Taylor to keep it alive. Buckaroos will serve again with Berry. That time it goes out of bounds across the back line. 6-4 on the station on main scoreboard as Wilson will serve. Let's go with the right hand. That's over. Diving effort in the back row by Berry. Keeps it alive. Pushed over by the Buckaroos. Rebels set up their attack. They go Taylor left wing as she tips that one over the net. Received by the Buckaroos. Middle of the floor attack. Lewis. That finds the hardwood as it's 6-5 on the station on main scoreboard. Rebels still on top by 1.
Don't have information on the players, but I would guess Lewis has got some height. I don't want anyone to guess what that might be.
Taller than me, which everyone's probably taller than me. Serve over from Lewis, received by Smith. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing. She attacks. That finds Young as an attack from the Buckaroos off of Wilson to the floor. We're tied 6-6 on the station on main scoreboard. Lewis will serve. Rebels looking to regain the momentum that they had in the first set. Dug out by Smith. They set up Taylor left wing. She attacks. That's blocked to the floor. Kept alive by the Buckaroos. They go back to Taylor. She attacks. That's off the hand to the floor. 7-6 on the station on main scoreboard as Taylor picks up the kill. Probably should have been 4 hits before that.
Yeah, I don't know how that first kill attempt by Violet wasn't called a lift.
Worked itself out in the end, though, as Taylor will serve. Received in the back row by Berry. They set up the attack. They find Smith back left corner. Rebels going to Scott as she pushes it down that left wing line. The lunging effort from Lewis keeps it alive as the Buckaroos have to tap it over. Rebels look to set up their attack. They do. Middle of the floor, Wallentine. She tips it over.
Got a double hit called on the Buckaroos.
It's a good job, though, by the Rebels. I didn't hear the whistle. They played that through. As Taylor will serve, 8-6 on the station on main scoreboard. Dug out by Madison Adair. Middle of the floor attack kept alive by Taylor. Back row, Rebels set up Scott as she pushes that to the front row. Allie Young. Middle of the floor attack from the Buckaroos kept alive as Taylor lunges back to keep it in the air. Scott bumps it over. Great defensive play by the Rebels. Buckaroos set up their attack again. This time they go to the outside. That's blocked back to the Buckaroos side as Young had her attack blocked. Attack from the back line read well by the Rebels. Back to the Buckaroos side. As a tip over to the hardwood. 8-7 on the station on main scoreboard.
I think you can credit Hannah Berry on that one, Aaron.
Serve over, received by Scott. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing. She lets it go with the right hand. Kept alive by Hannah Berry. Played over by the Buckaroos. Rebels will set up their attack as they set up Taylor back of the 10-foot line. Back row attack. Read well by the Buckaroos. The Buckaroos are going to be able to attack that one with Pearson as that falls to the middle of the floor. We're tied 8-8 on the station on main scoreboard.
It's a lot of height on that front row for the Buckaroos right now.
Barry will serve, received by Scott. Rebels set up to the opposite side for Ellsworth. That's deflected high in the air, kept alive by the Buckaroos. Couple of Buckaroos go after the attack. Smith with the dig. Rebels go middle of the floor to Wallentyne, and she tips it. Read well by Kaylee Adair in the front row, kept alive. It's tipped over by the Buckaroos. Rebels set up the attack. They go to Ellsworth on the opposite side. She just pushes it over. Read well by Young. As Adair is going to attack, that's deflected high in the air by Scott. Ellsworth does a good job keeping it over, but it's into the net called against the Buckaroos. 9-8 on the station on main scoreboard as Pugmire checks in. Wallentyne checks out. As Smith will serve. Serve over. Received in the back row by Lewis. Kaylee Adair will attack from the opposite side. That's going to be a point for the Buckaroos as it was deflected at the front of the net. Went over the head of Taylor out of bounds as she tried to get her arm to it. 9-9 on the station on main scoreboard. And Rob, sometimes those ones where it feels like they're just trying to play it over to you to live to fight another play, when they fall, they hurt.
Yep.
Serve over, received by Wilson. Rebels will bump it back to the Buckaroos as Adair is going to attack. That finds Casey Wilson. Rebels set up their attack. Scott left wing with the right hand, falling away. Kept alive by the Buckaroos as they tip it, blocked back to the Rebels side, or excuse me, the Buckaroos side by Pugmire. Played back by Pugmire, pushed over by the Buckaroos. Wilson with a dig in the middle of the back row. Scott will attack left wing, off a diving effort, kept alive, pushed over by Barry. Wilson with the dig, back right corner as we're going to get a lift called against the Buckaroos. 10-9 on the station on main scoreboard. And Rob, the intensity of these rallies has been much better here in the second set as the Buckaroos, I think, are playing a lot better.
Yeah, a lot less unforced errors on the Buckaroos' part.
Smith serve over, received by the Buckaroos as it goes back to the Rebels side as Pugmire is going to attack off the net. Played underneath the net by Kaylee Adair, diving to keep it alive as Haiti Pugmire pounded that one into the top of the net, bounces over, takes a Rebel bounce at the tape, falls in. Rebels go on top, 11-9 on the station on main scoreboard.
A little luck never hurts. Casey Wilson going over to talk to the head official for some purpose.
Paige Smith had that last serve, and I'm fairly certain it was not her turn to serve. Yeah, that's going to be out of rotation against the Rebels, as that was supposed to be Ava's serve.
Even though Paige never served the ball, I think it got in her hand.
No. So the last rally, Paige served. It was supposed to be Ava's serve, so that's why the point. I think the point's going to go to the Buckaroos. So I think that'll make it 10-10. Or make it 10-9.
Well, should be 10-10.
See what they do with the scoring. It is 10-10. I was going to mention something. I thought Paige had the last serve, but
they just want to mess up my stat sheet.
I do think that was correct as that serve over to the Rebel side. Taylor digs. Scott will attack. That's blocked back to the Rebel side. The Buckaroos go on top, 11-10 on the station on main scoreboard. As a little mistake like that, suddenly you're up 2, now you're down 1.
Second block by Elise Lewis.
This is a situation the Rebels have been in today. I don't think they're worried about it as Smith gets the dig. Rebels set up Pugmire, middle of the floor, dug out by Barry. An attack from Adair hits the net as it's going to be hit under the net by Pugmire. Not much the Rebels can do there.
Yeah, that's a little bit of luck. Hit the top of the net and drop straight down.
Pearson will serve again. Ball over, received by Taylor. Rebels go Scott left wing, and she's going to push it over that sideline. There's 3 players on that sideline for the Buckaroos. Lunging effort to keep it alive as they play it back to the Rebels. They're going to set up the attack. Scott pushes it down that sideline, kept alive for the moment. It's going to have to be bumped over by the Buckaroos. Rebels set up the attack again. Scott left wing unloads. That time, the 3 defenders on that line couldn't stop that one as it goes off the back line defender out of bounds. 12-11 on the station on main scoreboard.
6th kill by Hannah in today's match.
I think if you're the Rebels, though, you see the way they're kind of defending that sideline. The middle of the floor is open. If you can find it. Scott with the serve, kept alive by Hannah Berry as Adair reaches back to get that one. That was behind her head, and she was able to play it down the sideline. 13-11 on the station on main scoreboard. As the Adairs are going to check out, check out and in for each other as Kaylee Adair checks out, Madison Adair checks in, and will serve. Right-handed serve over the net, received by Pugmire. Rebels set up the attack. They go to Taylor, who's going to bump it over from the left wing, but the 2 hits was called against the Rebels. 14-11 on the station on main scoreboards. We're going to get a timeout called by Rich. As you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
The Hometown Drive-In has been helping families celebrate and create happy memories at beautiful Bear Lake for generations. With amazing burgers, fries, and other Hometown Drive-In favorites, the food is always delicious and everyone in the family will find something they love. Whenever you're at Bear Lake, make sure you stop. Beautiful blue water and Bear Lake raspberry shakes have been making people smile for generations. Put a smile on your face at the Hometown Drive-In, Bear Lake.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. Rebels trail in set 2, 14-11 on the station on main scoreboard. They lead 1-0.
Biggest lead by the Buckaroos at 3 points in this set. We should mention Tabiona took the first set against Paiute, and they lead in the second set 18-16.
The other side of the semifinals already set as it'll be Wendover taking on Panguitch as Wendover is able to dispatch of Monument Valley. Serve over from Adair. That's off of Taylor, out of bounds. It's an ace. 15-11 on the station on main scoreboard. Rebels got to get something going here in set number 2. They're kind of just trudging along in the mud. And since that point where the Rebels scored but they had it taken off the board because of out of rotation, it's been Monticello the entire way. As Smith will bump it over. Buckaroo set up the attack. They go Barry. That's blocked to the Buckaroo side. Give Haiti Pugmire another block. She has been fantastic at the front of the net today. Let's see if she can start to kind of take over here in set 2 at the front of the net. Well, as I say that, she's going to go serve.
Now she can do it from the service line. We've seen her serve 10 serves in a row in a match.
Serve received by Adair, as that's going to go into the net. Point will fall to the Rebels. 15-13 on the station on main scoreboard. She has that left-handed curveball that, got to imagine, gives some teams some fits. It seems like that serve received by Adair. That teams don't receive the ball well as Barry will attack. Good read by Argyle to keep it alive as the Rebels go to Taylor. She pushes it over. Barry with the dig. They go right back to her middle of the floor. A couple of Monticello Buckaroos went after that one. Rebels get it back to go Wallentine as that's going to fall into Janie's lap as it'll be a double hit. 16-13 on the station on main scoreboard. So Pugmire will check out. Smith will check in. So Barry will serve. Received by Argyle as Smith plays it back to the middle of the floor. Argyle's going to bump it over. Buckaroo set up their attack. They go middle of the floor. Blocked by the Rebels. I think Janie Wallentine got her hands to that one.
Either her or Violet got that one.
So the attacker, I think, was Barry on that play. As soon as she touched that ball, you could see her going. And when she did that, the front line just caved to her. Great play defensively by the Rebels front line. As Wilson will serve, tickles the tape, gets over. As the Buckaroo set up the attack, it's Young, That is blocked again by the Rebels front line.
Give a half a block of that one to Ava Ellsworth, the other one to Janie Wallentyne.
And that's going to lead to a timeout as you're listening to 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ.
Welcome to the town of Randolph, located in northern Utah. The first group of settlers came from St. Charles, Idaho in March of 1870. We are a town of great extremes, from 90 degrees in the summer to minus 40 degrees in the winter, and we hold the record for the coldest temperature ever recorded in Utah at minus 50 degrees. Randolph is a small, friendly community that strives to preserve our rural heritage and small town feel. Enjoy the feeling each time you visit Randolph. Go Rebels!
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. Much closer set 2 here as the Buckaroos lead 16-15. And on the Station on Main scoreboard as Wilson is prepared to serve. Whistle blows, and we are ready to go. We're back underway as that serve received in the back row by Adair to the Rebels side. They'll set up the attack. Taylor, left wing, lets it go. That's deflected out of bounds off the antenna as Violet Taylor picks up the kill. 16-16 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Wilson will serve again.
Violet's 5th kill of the set.
Wilson serve over, and that is in, as that's going to be an ace for Casey Wilson. 17-16 on the Station on Main scoreboard. The flag judge on the far side, very emphatic with the call. As Wilson will serve again. Lets it go with the right hand, trying to find that sideline. This time it goes out of bounds. 17-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Buckaroos will serve with Lewis. Right-handed jump serve over, received by Smith. Rebels will set up the attack. Taylor's going to bump it over from the 10-foot line as he got a little bunched up there. Attack from the Buckaroos is going to fall in as Pearson gets the kill. Rebels got their hands to it. Unfortunately, they couldn't keep the ball in the air. Buckaroos back on top 18-17 as Lewis will serve again. Serve over, received by Smith. It's going to be an ace as the Rebels can't get to it. When the Rebels have struggled today, it's been their service return defense that's really gotten to them. And right there, an ace when you're down 1 late in a set. Can't happen as Argyle digs that one out. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing. She attacks. That's kept alive by Barry. An attack from the Buckaroos kept in the air by Wilson as Pugmire plays it back to the middle where Taylor will try to bump it over. Diving effort from the Buckaroos keeps it alive. A reverse bump that's going to go out of bounds as the Rebels pick up the point there. Catch a little bit of a break on the unforced error.
You know you're just going to bump it over, but Violet, even when she's just bumping it over, looks at the floor and puts it in a spot, makes difficulties for her opponents.
Taylor will serve again as that's off of Madison Adair high in the air. They're going to go to the back row where they have to bump it over. Rebels set up their attack. They go to Ellsworth opposite side. He just punches it over, finds Madison Adair in the far left corner. An attack finds Taylor kept alive as the Rebels with a dump set to Casey Wilson. Madison Adair digs that out as they set up on the left wing. Kept alive by Taylor as that goes into the net. 20-18 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Hannah Berry will serve. Received by Pugmire. Rebels set up Scott left wing. Lets it go with the right hand. That is a diving effort, but it's going to go into the other court as a second ball will be added to the Taviona-Paiute matchup for the moment. And probably one of the biggest points of the match is it's 24-23 over there. Paiute with the 1-point lead as Wallentyne checks out. Smith will check in to serve. Approaches the right-handed jump serve. Ball over. Received in the back row by the Buckaroos. Set up Pearson who pushes it over. Rebels able to read that as Pugmire with an attack. Read by the Buckaroos who punch it over. Scott with the dig. They're going to go right back to Hannah on the left wing. She lets it go. That's blocked. Back to the Rebels side. Oh, they say that didn't get blocked. They're going to say 4 hits against the Rebels. I thought I thought Pearson got her hand on that one.
I did too.
Obviously, the stand official is much closer than we are. We are a ways away trying to call this game for you. Smith with the receive as Scott will attack. Buckaroos set up their attack to a dare as Taylor digs it out middle of the back row. Pugmire will push it over from the middle of the floor. Buckaroos on the attack, tipped high in the air. Ellsworth with a nice dig. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing, pushes it down that left wing side, kept alive for the moment. It's going to be a reverse bump by the Buckaroos as Taylor gets the dig middle of the back floor. Pugmire will attack with that left hand. That's off the back line, out of bounds as Haiti Pugmire picks up the kill. 21-20 on the Station on Main scoreboard. And Rob, in this set, it doesn't seem like the Rebels have really been on the front foot with the attack. It seems like they've been defending nearly the whole set as Ellsworth will serve. That goes into the net. 22-20 on the Station on Main scoreboard as you're down one. You can't have service errors trying to come back in a set. They'll send Pearson to the line to serve. Lets it go, received by Scott. Rebels go right back to Hannah on the left wing. She attacks, that's down to the hardwood as Scott picks up the kill. 22-21 on the Station on Main scoreboard.
Got that run right across the top of the tape.
Now Scott will serve. Right-handed jump serve over the net as that's going to fall in for an ace. That's a big ace for Hannah Scott right there. 22-22 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Scott will go to the line to serve again.
Number 40 on the season. And a timeout by the Buckaroos.
And with that, we're going to take a timeout as well. You're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
When pizza is calling your name, order a Summit Pizza. With homemade dough and all fresh ingredients, every pizza is a culinary masterpiece. Owners Thad and Melissa Willis are rich high school alumni. They continue the Rebel tradition of excellence and service. Feed your taste buds, feel the happiness with a fresh homemade pizza from Summit Pizza. Don't forget the Doodles, a Summit Pizza original creation. Summit Pizza, 70 West Logan Road, Garden City.
You hear that? That's the sound your new water makes.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com as it is 22-22. All tied here in set number 2 as Scott will serve. Now before Allie Young checks in from Madison Adair. Scott, right-handed jump serve over the net. Received in the back row by the Buckaroos, having trouble getting it over. And they're able to do so, and that's going to be a point for the Buckaroos.
I did not think that ball was going to make it, and neither obviously did the Rebels, because as soon as it came over the net, they were completely surprised.
You got to be ready for it, though. 23-22 as a serve over, received by Smith. Goes back to the Buckaroos side. That's going to be tapped down. 24-22 on the Station on Main scoreboard.
Timeout Rebels.
When pizza is calling your name.
You hear that? That's the sound your new water makes just before it gets to your bottle. You see, at Little Spring Water, they don't add a thing. It's the purest, cleanest, and healthiest water you could possibly drink. It's nature in a bottle. Little Spring Water is a family-owned and operated bottled water company right here in Utah. Nestled in a beautiful canyon in Bear Lake, this spring has been in the family for 5 generations, and now it can be in yours as well. It's high-quality premium drinking water packaged in a durable, recyclable bottle that won't spill or crack on you and can be refilled multiple times. No chemicals, no additives, just pure, clean, healthy water. And because Little Spring Water is local, you can get it at a fraction of the cost. Look for Little Spring Water at a grocery store near you. If you don't see it, ask your grocer for it by name. Little Spring Water. It's nature in a bottle.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com as well as listening in at 98.3 KDQ. Rebels get the dig. They go to Taylor on the attack. Kept alive by Pearson as Barry will push it over. Taylor digs it out. Rebels go right back to Violet. She unloads. Kept alive by Argyle. What a dig that was, as that's into the net, but Casey Wilson does a good job getting it out. Rebels will play it back over. Buckaroos set up the attack, middle of the floor to Barry. Good read there from Wilson as Pugmire tries the back corner. Kept alive for the moment by the Buckaroos, and that's going to fall in on their side as the Rebels will pick up the point. Give a lot of credit to Casey Wilson and Cassie Argyle, as Cassie Argyle had a attack that was blocked off the Buckaroos right to her. She's able to play it back over. Casey Wilson made a great read on the play to keep it alive. Rebels pick up the point. Played over by the Buckaroos. They attack as that's off of Ellsworth out of bounds. And that's going to do it for set number 2 as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Rich School District has a legendary history of student success in the classroom and in other areas. Over 70% of Rich High students are involved in extracurricular activities. Participation in the classroom, on the field, in the gym, or on the stage helps students reach their potential. Working together with students, the community, and an amazing staff, we have the opportunity to build tomorrow's leaders. Rich School District, focusing on success, one student at a time.
The Hometown Drive-In has been helping families celebrate and create happy memories at beautiful Bear Lake for generations. With amazing burgers, fries, and other Hometown Drive-In favorites, the food is always delicious and everyone in the family will find something they love. Whenever you're at Bear Lake, make sure you stop. Beautiful blue water and Bear Lake raspberry shakes have been making people smile for generations. Put a smile on your face at the Hometown Drive-In, Bear Lake.
When you're experiencing pain from an injury or pain for an unknown reason, it can negatively impact how you function every day. It's good to know that individually supervised physical therapy is available at Evanston Regional Hospital. From athletes to seniors, we assist patients with personalized treatment plans. We offer a broad range of therapies including cardiac rehab, post-surgical rehab, concussion recovery, and sports rehab. Ask your family doctor if physical therapy is right for you or call one of our therapy departments directly. Evanston Regional Hospital, helping you get your life back.
Quality is the one thing that you can always count on when you do business with Ellingford Brothers in Evanston. You always get high-quality products and friendly, knowledgeable service at Ellingford's. Stop in today, 199 County Road, Evanston.
At the Evanston Walmart, you'll find all the tools students need to succeed. Our team is committed to providing quality products and an excellent shopping experience. Stop in today, 125 North 2nd Street, Evanston. Walmart. Save money, live better.
The town of Garden City is home to beautiful Bear Lake, where families play together. We welcome you to Garden City and invite you to visit bearlake.org for places to explore and information on upcoming events year-round. The town of Garden City welcomes you as we cheer on the Rich Rebels.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com as we are tied 1-1 after a very good set for the Rebels. I would say that second set, little in part to Monticello's play, wasn't as good as the first for the Rebels.
10 kills again for the Rebels in that second set, but matched this time by the Buckaroos 10. 3 aces by the Buckaroos, only 2 by the Rebels. And the unforced errors, Buckaroos cut theirs down to 7, 17 total for the match, and only 1 service error in that one, and 8 ties in that last set, Aaron. That was a battle all the way through. Nobody could really pull away in that second set.
Well, Rebels have some work to do here as we're tied 1-1 heading to set number 3. Buckaroos Madison Adair will serve first. As if you're the Rebels, this is almost a must-have. You don't want to fall behind 2-1 in sets. That serve received by Pugmire. Rebels will go to Taylor, left wing. She lets it go. That's blocked down to the floor on the Rebels side. Tough start as Buckaroos go on top, 1-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard.
I think you can credit Lewis on that block.
Serve over, received by the Rebels. They go to Pugmire, middle of the floor. She attacks. That's out of bounds. As that was very close. We can't see the corner where that ball was, but it was right at the feet of the flag judge. Rebels behind 2-0 in set number 3. A dare serve received by Taylor. Rebels set up. Taylor on the left wing. She attacks. Good read there by Barry. Attack to the back row for Smith. Rebels go to Argyle, who attacks, and I think that caught the Buckaroos off guard as Argyle picks up the kill. 2-1 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As you can see, the entire Monticello defensive unit, they were looking at Violet Taylor, waiting for her to hit the ball, as Argyle comes from the back row to attack it. Caught them off guard. Serve over, received by the Buckaroos. They set up Barry, middle of the floor. That finds Ellsworth as Rebels go Taylor. Diving effort to keep it alive. Tipped over. Pugmire with the dig as Wilson tips it back to the Monticello side. They push it back over where the Rebels look to set up their attack. They do. Taylor left wing with the right hand too far across that back line, out of bounds. 3-1 on the Station on Main scoreboard. It kind of seems the Rebels' attack hasn't been able to figure out the rotation that Monticello likes to use yet. Pugmire checks out. Smith checks in. Serve received by Argyle. Rebels set up Taylor. She pushes it down that left wing. Read well by the Buckaroos. They attack. That's going to go out of bounds as that hit the flag judge. 3-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard. He is standing around the corner, so he is out of bounds. Casey Wilson will serve. Rebels trail 3-2 here in set number 3. We're tied 1-1. So Wilson serve received by the Buckaroos. Dump set. Good effort from Argyle to keep it alive as Ellsworth will bump it over. Adair with the dig. They set up on the outside for Young, who was tipping it over. It got deflected by the Rebels' front line to the ground. 4-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Lewis will serve. Serve over, received by Argyle. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing as she attacks. Middle of the back row, dug out by Lewis. They set up a back line attack that's off of Smith, out of bounds as the Buckaroos pick up the kill. 5-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard, and we're going to get a timeout called as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Buying or selling real estate can be fun, especially when you have a realtor that's working hard on your behalf. Gary McKee and the team at Bear Lake Realty have unparalleled industry knowledge, experience, and local expertise. The team at Bear Lake Realty will work to get you the best price. Whatever you're looking for, buying or selling, residential, commercial, year-round living, half shares, quarter shares, or income property, hire the best real estate company, Bear Lake Realty. Log on today, bearlakerealty.com.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. It is time for the Gare Bear Fan Cam. For all your realty needs in Bear Lake, visit bearlakerealty.com as we head back to our live cam. Rebels trail 5-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As the Buckaroos will serve. That goes into the net as the Rebels catch a little bit of a break there. See if that can start to build some momentum the Rebel way. As Scott will check in for Argyle.
Great way to end the run is with a service error.
Taylor serves, received by Madison Adair. Tipped over as Smith gets her hands to it. Pushed over by Wallentine. Buckaroo set up the attack, middle of the floor. That's going to be off of Wilson's hands to the floor as Pearson will finish that one off. 6-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard.
Pearson's 6th kill of the match.
Serve over, received by Barry. Rebels go to Scott as she pushes that one over to the back row. They set up a dare on the outside. Figured out by Wilson. Rebels set up Scott as she pushes that over to the back corner. Received by the Buckaroos. They attack. Diving effort from Taylor keeps it alive.
I'm going to call Ava into the net, I believe.
7-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Barry will serve. That serve goes out of bounds across the back line. 7-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Wallentine will check out. Pugmire will check in. Smith will serve.
Paige Smith had her hands out to hit that, and the last second pulled him back.
Serve over by Smith. Received in the back row by Lewis. A backline attack is tipped high in the air by Pugmire. Rebels will set up on the outside for Scott as she lets it go. Kept alive by the Buckaroos. Kaylee Adair will attack from the opposite side. Rebels go back to Scott on the left wing as she lets it go too far out of bounds across the back line. 8-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Rebels attack. Since that first set, Rob, they haven't really been able to figure out what Monticello's doing defensively, as it just seems that every time they attack the ball, the Buckaroos are there, as that serve's going to go out of bounds across the right wing sideline. Saving grace for the Rebels, though, right now is the Buckaroo service errors. The Rebels are able to turn this around and win this set. I think that's where Monticello's going to really kick themselves. Serve over from Ellsworth. That is received in the back row by Young. Kept alive with a reverse bump over the net as Ellsworth digs it out. Rebels look to set up the attack. They do. Pugmire, middle of the floor, tips it over right to the arms of Barry. Monticello tries a tip of their own, read well by Scott. Scott's going to let it go with the right hand into the net. 9-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Send Pearson to the line to serve. Serve over, received by Taylor as Ellsworth keeps it in the air. Wilson's going to reverse bump it over. Monticello sets up the attack. They go middle of the floor, kept alive. Diving effort by Ellsworth. Play is still alive. Great job defensively as Adair will attack into the net. Credit Ava Ellsworth with that lunging effort after she dove for the ball. A second, I would say a last-ditch effort, diving from her knees to keep that one alive. 9-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Scott will serve. Right-handed jump serve goes into the net. 10-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard.
I think they could have got Hannah on a footfall on that one anyway. She was over the back line on the serve.
Madison Adair will serve. Lets it go out of bounds across the sideline. Dueling service errors gives it right back to the Rebels. 10-7 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Pugmire will serve. Wallenstein checks in. Smith checks out. Pugmire's serve received back row by the Buckaroos. They set up Barry. That's going to find the hardwood. 11-7 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Barry will serve. Serve over, received by Argyle. It's going to be hammered back to the Rebels side. As that receive went over the net, Lewis buries that one as 12-7 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Scott's going to check in for Argyle. Barry will serve. Ball over off of Smith. That's going to be an ace.
Her second ace of the match.
Rebels got to pick it up. If they want to win this match, they're going to have to play a lot better than they are right now. As that serve goes into the net, Rebels catch a break there. 13-7 on the, or 13-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard, and it could be a lot worse right now. The Buckaroos have had trouble serving the ball over the net here in the set as Wilson will serve. Ball over, received by Barry. Middle of the floor attack goes into the net. 13-9 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Wilson serve, goes over, received by Barry. Play to the middle of the floor, attack kept alive by Wilson. Scott runs in the middle to keep it alive. Wallenstein bumps it over, that's into the floor as Janie Wallenstein, reaching over just to try to keep the ball alive, finds that right wing sideline. That ball looked like it was heading out. 13-10 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Wilson will serve again.
A one-arm save.
Dug out by Taylor Barry. They set up on the opposite side. That's deflected high in the air. Rebels can't get to it. 14-10 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Buckaroos will serve with Lewis. At minimum, if you're the Rebels here, you want to try to build some momentum here at the end of this set. We're getting to the middle part where it's 14-10. Haven't played particularly well here in set number 3, but if you can start to build momentum as that serve received by Scott. They go Taylor left wing as she attacks. That finds Adair as the Buckaroos will attack. That goes into the net. 14-11 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Trying to figure something out about this Monticello team as it seems like they're rotating heavy to the outside side to the left wing as Taylor will serve. Ball over. Received by the Buckaroos. They go to the opposite side for Young. Kept alive by Taylor as Wallenstein will bump it over. Adair. She finds it. They go middle of the floor. That's blocked by the Rebels to the floor. I believe Wallenstein got that one. 14-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Taylor will serve. The ball from floor 2 came over. It looks like Tabiona is going to clinch their spot in the semifinals. Taylor, serve received by Adair. They go middle of the floor. That attack, that goes into the net. No. Oh, hold on. They said the Rebels touched that. That ball went into the net. Tough break for the Rebels. 15-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard. None of the Rebels are arguing, though, so maybe they did touch it. It's hard to see, but the net moved quite a bit there. Received by Smith. They go Scott left wing. She reaches over, keeps it alive. As Adair will attack, she flips it high in the air. Ellsworth with a dig. Rebels set up middle or opposite side for Ellsworth. She attacks, finds the hardwood. As I think that's something they can use more often, Rob. They use Ava on that opposite side. She buries that one back line. 15-13 on the Station on Main scoreboard.
With the way the Buckaroos are rotating, that is open.
Smith will serve. Received in the back row by the Buckaroos. They set up the attack to Pearson. Read well by the Rebels. They go Scott middle of the floor. She attacks. Kept alive by the Buckaroos. Attacks tipped high in the air. Scott with the second effort keeps it alive as Hannah's going to bump it over. Monticello looking to set up the attack. They do, middle of the floor, and that's going to fall into the hardwood as that is Pearson with the kill. 16-13 on the Station on Main scoreboard.
A wide range of Buckaroos with kills in this set.
Young to serve. Received by Taylor. Rebel set up Pugmire on the outside. She lets it go with the left hand. That deflects off the net, falls in. Talk about a tough break when that happens for Monticello. Definitely a tough break there for the Buckaroos, but the Rebels will take it with the way this set is gone. Any bounce they can get.
That ball looks like they just wanted to crawl across the top. Decided, I'm going to go over on this side.
Ellsworth with a serve. Received by Adair. Back to the Rebels side. Back to Ava. As she digs it out, they go Scott middle of the floor. Tips it with the left hand. Kept alive for the moment, but it falls in. 16-15 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As the Rebels back within one. Ellsworth to serve.
Going to get a timeout from the Buckaroos.
You're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ. We'll be right back after this.
Whether you're recovering from an injury, just had surgery, or you're dealing with a chronic condition, Evanston Regional Hospital Physical Therapy will help you every step of the way to reach your goals and get back to doing what you love. In addition to the top-of-the-line facilities, we are the only physical therapy clinic in Southwest Wyoming with a full-size therapy pool and spa for aquatic-based treatment. Call today to schedule an appointment. Evanston Regional Hospital, helping you get your life back.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. 16-15 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels have Ellsworth at the line to serve. We are tied one set apiece here at the UCCU Center. I'm Aaron Poling. That's Rob Leifson. Thank you for joining us.
Ava spinning the ball in her hands, waiting for the Buckaroos to come out of the timeout. They are using every last second that is available.
It's a good way to slow momentum. In theory, anyway. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We'll see if it works here. As Ellsworth will serve. Received in the back row by the Buckaroos. That's going to fall in, and we are tied at 16 apiece as Ava picks up the ace.
Number 20 on the season for Ava.
And she'll go back to the line to serve. Serve over. Received by the Buckaroos. They're going to have to play it backwards. The 10-foot line, push it over where the Rebels are going to pick up the point on the into the net call. 17-16 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Ellsworth will go back to the line to serve.
I don't know if you give that an ace to Ava or not.
Serve over, received by the Buckaroos, kept alive, pushed over as Taylor digs that out back row. They set up Scott middle of the floor. She pushes it over the back line. That's going to fall in. 18-16 on the Station on Main scoreboard, and Rob, a more concentrated effort to move that ball away from the opposite side. As that time Hannah kind of played against what Monticello was doing. She pushed it over that back row defender as that serve goes into the net. 18-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard.
Hannah's double-digit kill for the day, 10th on the point before that.
This sends Pearson to the line to serve. Received by Smith. Rebels set up the attack to Scott, middle of the floor. She lets it go. That's kept alive by the Buckaroos. An attack went sideways on them. They're able to play it over, though. Rebels will set up their attack. Pugmire on the outside. She attacks. That's blocked down out of bounds on the Rebels side. 19-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Good recognition there by Pugmire to let that ball go. Scott will serve. Right-handed jump serve over the net. Diving effort by the Buckaroos. Tipped to the floor by Pugmire.
That is putting the ball on the platter for Haiti.
A little more conventional on the kill this time as she tips it over. We're getting another timeout called at 20-17. As you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Welcome to the town of Randolph, located in northern Utah. The first group of settlers came from St. Charles, Idaho in March of 1870. We are a town of great extremes, from 90 degrees in the summer to minus 40 degrees in the winter, and we hold the record for the coldest temperature ever recorded in Utah at minus 50 degrees. Randolph is a small, friendly community that strives to preserve our rural heritage and small town feel. Enjoy the feeling each time you visit Randolph. Go Rebels.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. 20-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels on top as Scott awaits the official go-ahead to serve. Jump serve over, received back row by the Buckaroos. They set up the attack, middle of the floor. That's out of bounds across the back line. 21-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Scott will serve again. Hannah gets the go-ahead, attacks with the right hand. Right-handed jump serve over, received back row by the Buckaroos. A set attempt, they're going to attack. That goes around the antenna. As that's out of bounds, Rebels will pick up the point. That set, they tried to set up Lewis on the near side. That ball was a little bit behind her. She tried to keep it in bounds, unable to do so. As Scott will serve, received in the back row by Pearson. Pushed over by the Buckaroos as Smith gets the dig. Rebels will set up Taylor left wing. She attacks with the right hand. That is off the back line, out of bounds. 22, makes that 23-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Scott will serve. Approaches with the right-handed jump serve, ball over. That is a good read there by Barry to come off the front line to keep it alive. An attack bounces around on the net, stayed alive as Ellsworth's going to play it back to the Buckaroos. Set up the attack, middle of the floor, tipped. Ava's there to keep it alive. Rebels set up, middle of the floor, Pugmire. She attacks to the left hand, kept in the air, but it's going to fall in as Haiti Pugmire picks up the kill. 24-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As the Rebels, we talked about trying to figure out how to get the Monticello defense. And it sounds weird, but it's going away from Taylor when they double team. It's worked well for the Rebels here. Scott serve, kept alive for the moment, but it'll be an ace to end set number 3 as the Rebels come all the way back from where they were in a set where they almost seemed like they were dead in the water for parts of that third set. They were able to come back and win, and that's the sign of a good championship team, Rob, when it's not going your way, but you're able to pull it out. The only thing is, though, is they got to keep pulling it out as they lead 2-1 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As I'm Aaron Pulling, that's Rob Leifson. When we come back, we'll have set number 4. You're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
We're off to the rodeo. My Local Rodeo is proud to bring you live streaming coverage of high school rodeo from Utah and Wyoming, as well as the Intermountain Icebreaker of the National High School Rodeo Association's Western Legacy Series in 2023 and 2024. If you're interested in becoming a broadcast sponsor and advertising your business to the most loyal group of viewers in the country, you won't find a better opportunity. Call us today to claim your spot, 307-789-8116. That's 307-789-8116. 407-789-8116. We're off to the rodeo.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Your Troubles varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com as we'll recap set number 3.
Rebels again with 10 kills. That's 3 sets in a row with 10 kills. Monticello with 9. 2 aces for the Rebels, giving them a total of 6 in the match. 1 for the Buckaroos. They've got 5. Only 5 unforced errors for the Rebels on that set with a total of 16 so far. 7 for the Buckaroos. That's 24 total. Only 2 service errors by the Rebels. That's 5, but Monticello 5 service errors only in that set. And Aaron, a 12-1 run to end that set when we both felt like the wheels were coming off for a little bit there with the Rebels. They put things right back in order. Monticello called timeout, which usually seems to change the momentum a little bit, but it seemed to give more momentum to the Rebels. The second timeout, set was done.
Yeah, credit the Rebels. I mean, we talked about it coming back. I mean, we're probably pretty harsh on them in that set because we know how well they can play. They can play to that 12-1 run to end the set, you know, and that's, I think, sometimes that gets lost in, you know, a little bit of the struggle sometimes of trying to keep the momentum in a volleyball game. But, hey, good job by the Rebels coming back as it is. We're going to head to set 4. They're on top 2-1. Probably want to finish it here in set number 4. Don't want to go to set 5. As that's a race to 15, and crazy things can happen.
Crazy things happen in a 5-set. By the way, Tabiona did finish off Paiute a little bit out of gas after the second set went 28-26, I believe, in favor of Tabiona.
Tabiona's ahead big in that set, so the Paiute was able to come back and make it close. But we only have a couple more matches still on the floor. You got Wayne versus Milford.
Yep.
On the near side. Then on the far side, that's Altamont versus, trying to figure out who that is. Red on red. We'll figure that out later as Hannah Scott has the ball in her hand. Serve over, received by the Buckaroos. They set up middle of the floor. The attack, that's blocked, kept alive for the moment. 1-0 Buckaroos. That goes into the net. 1-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Scott will check out, Argyle will check in. It's a bummer for the Rebels because that's kind of where they made their hay with Hannah at the service line. Have to do it a bit differently here. Serve from the Buckaroos over. It's Barry, received by a sliding Pugmire. Rebels go to Taylor, left wing. She attacks. That's a diving effort to keep it alive, but it's going to go out of bounds over the net on the right wing sideline. Rebels pick up the point, 1-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard, or excuse me, 1-1 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Pugmire will serve. Left-handed serve over, received by the Buckaroos. They attack middle of the floor with Pearson, read well by Argyle. Rebels set up Taylor. She lets it go with that right hand, kept alive in the back row by Lewis as it's pushed over by Young. Rebels set up the attack again. Taylor on the left wing, tries that sideline, is able to find it. And you know, we talked about Monticello really heavily rotating over. That time they didn't, and Violet was able to pick out that corner on the left wing side.
11th kill for Violet in the match.
Serve over from Pugmire, received. That's going to be an ace as Lewis got her arms to it, was not able to get the ball high enough in the air.
Number 56 on the season for Haiti. She leads the Rebels with aces.
Serve over off the net, kept alive, pushed over by the Buckaroos. Good defense there. Rebels set up Wallentyne, middle of the floor. She tips it, finds the hardwood on that on that far sideline. As Janie, with her right hand, tipped it to her left. Finds the hardwood. 4-1 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Pugmire will serve. Ball over, received by the Buckaroos. They set up their attack. They go to the outside for Young. That's off of Argyle, out of bounds. 4-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Buckaroos will take service. As Pugmire checks out, Smith checks in. Hannah Berry will serve. Received by a diving Taylor. Kept alive as they're going to go to Wallentyne, middle of the floor. Pushes over to the sideline. Kept alive by the Buckaroos. Backline attack off of Ellsworth, out of bounds. That's about 4 or 5 times now, Rob. The Buckaroos have attacked from that back line and been able to pick up points. As a defense, that has to be disheartening as Hannah Berry will serve. Received by Taylor. Rebels set Taylor up on the left wing. She lets it go. That's off the front line, out of bounds, 5-3. And you can kind of feel Violet Taylor starting to take this game over a little bit, Rob.
Now that back line attack, that's as good as any kill from the front line. Holy cow.
Wilson serve over, received in the back row by Lewis. They set up a dare on the outside. Good read by Smith to keep it alive. As Ellsworth bumps it over, that's going to lead to trouble as a couple of Buckaroos are able to keep it alive. Adair bumps it over. Rebels look to set up their attack. They do. Taylor, left wing, lets it go. That is a diving effort to keep it alive, but it goes into the cheer squad for the Monticello Buckaroos, and the Rebels are on top 6-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Taylor let an absolute frozen rope go off of that right arm. Wilson with the serve, and that's an ace for Casey Wilson, 7-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Casey threw a little bit of a change up there. Not real often you see the high lob from Casey, but she picks it out there, able to land it middle of the floor. This time it's received by the Buckaroos. They set up opposite side. That's off of the hands of Wilson, out of bounds as they went to Pearson. 7-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Young will serve. Young lets it go with that right hand. That's off the top of the net, falls in on the Buckaroo side. As it seems like things are kind of going the Rebels' way now, Rob, is that seemed like a serve in the second set that probably goes over, but it's kind of funny how it feels like luck is on your side when you're starting to build momentum. As Taylor will serve, right-handed jump serve over. Received back row by the Buckaroos. They go to the outside, that's off the arms of Taylor, out of bounds. Credit Taylor Berry with the kill. 8-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Buckaroos will serve with Pearson. Serve over, received by Smith. Rebels go to Scott on the left wing as she attacks. It's deflected high in the air, kept alive for the moment, pushed over by the Buckaroos as Ellsworth can't find a teammate trying to keep that ball alive. 8-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. One of those last-ditch off the arm kept alive for the Buckaroos. Rebels unable to return it. Serve from Pearson. Over, received by Scott. As the Rebels bump it over with Wilson. An attack right off the bump from the Buckaroos finds Taylor as Wallentine bumps it over. Buckaroos set up their attack. They go to the outside for Berry. Kept alive by Taylor until it goes out of bounds off of the bench. 8-7 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Rebels need to find that momentum again. Pearson will serve. Received by Scott. Rebels go right back to Hannah on the left wing. She lets it go with the right hand. Kept alive in the back row by Pearson. Buckaroos do a good job keeping it in play as Smith with the dig. Rebels set up the opposite side for Ellsworth as she hits it into the net. We're tied 8-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Buckaroos do a good job coming back there. Pearson will serve. Received by Smith. That goes into the net. It's going to be an ace for the Buckaroos. As Pugmire is going to check in for Smith. Pearson to serve again. Pugmire receives the dig, or excuse me, the serve. They go to Scott left wing. She attacks. That's off the front line, and that stays in bounds. 9-9 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Scott picks up the kill down the left wing sideline.
Her 11th of the match.
Sends Wallentine to the line to serve. She lets it go with the right hand. And that's going to be unreturnable by the Buckaroos. They hit the ball about 5 times, and finally the whistle goes.
Yeah, I couldn't understand why the judge hadn't called anything on that one yet.
Wallentine serve over. That's a missile that goes out of bounds across the back line. 10-10 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Smith's going to check in for Wallentine. We're tied at 10 here in set number 4. Rebels on top 2-1. As Adair will serve. Received by Taylor. Rebels go to Pugmire on the outside. Pushed over from the 10-foot line. Buckaroos set up their attack to Barry. Kept alive by Ellsworth. Back to the Monticello side. They can't return it.
Point goes to the Rebels.
What a play there from Ava Ellsworth. The flag official was waving his flag like it hit the antenna, but I think it hit the bottom of the antenna. That's what he was waving the flag for, as everyone paused for a moment to see what the call was. 11-10 on the station on main scoreboard as Ellsworth lets the serve go. Diving effort by the Buckaroos, kept alive as Barry's attack finds Taylor. Smith will bump it over. Buckaroos can set up their attack. A dump set is read well by Pugmire. They go back to Haiti on the left wing. She tips it over. Buckaroos keep it alive. They go to the middle of the floor for Lewis, who tips it. Ellsworth with a nice read. Scott, middle of the floor attack. She finds the back row corner as the Buckaroos are able to play it over. Rebels set up again. They go Pugmire opposite side with the left hand deflected. Kept alive by Adair. Scott lets one go. Whoa. Kept alive by the Buckaroos again as Barry will attack. That finds Smith in the opposite corner, back left wing, as Pugmire will bump it over. Buckaroos on the attack. They set up as Ellsworth's able to keep it alive. Pugmire plays it back the middle where Scott with the reverse bump. Monticello looking to set up their attack. They do. Taylor Barry, that's blocked, kept alive into the net, kept alive again, played over. Rebels look to set up their attack. They go to the middle of the floor. Scott lets it go with the right hand. That's down to the floor. What a rally that was as the Rebels go on top. 12-10 on the station on main scoreboard. My apologies, it was backwards. But what a defensive effort both ways. That was quite the rally.
That was one of the best rallies I've seen all year, Aaron. Holy cow. The one kill from Hannah Scott, I wish we had a radar gun to see the speed on that one, and the Buckaroos put her right back over.
Well, the Buckaroos are going to take a timeout as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
The Hometown Drive-In has been helping families celebrate and create happy memories at beautiful Bear Lake for generations. With amazing burgers, fries, and other Hometown Drive-In favorites, the food is always delicious and everyone in the family will find something they love. Whenever you're at Bear Lake, make sure you stop. Beautiful Blue Water and Bear Lake Raspberry Shakes have been making people smile for generations. Put a smile on your face at the Hometown Drive-In, Bear Lake.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ. Rebels lead here in set number 4, 12-10. They lead in sets 2-1 as well. And Rob, before that timeout, that was a heck of a rally.
I honestly, I don't know if I've seen a better rally all year long than that one right there.
Both teams flew around, made defensive plays, had great attacks, as the Rebels were able to capitalize there. Received by the Buckaroos, middle of the floor to Lewis. That's blocked. Kept alive, pushed over. Rebels on the attack as they're going to have to reverse bump it with Wilson from the 10-foot line. Buckaroos, they go to the opposite side for Lewis. Kept alive by Ellsworth. Rebels go to Pugmire on the left wing. She'll push it over down that sideline. Adair keeps it in the air. Pushed over by Barry as that hits the antenna. 12-11 on the station on main scoreboard. Serve coming from the Buckaroos, as that's Taylor Barry. Right-hand jump serve is out of bounds across that back line. 13-11 on the station on main scoreboard as Taylor, that ball when it's in the air, that ball ends up about 5 feet behind the back line, but with it being a low line drive like that, you never really know. As Scott, her jump serve over, received by the Buckaroos back to the Rebels side as they'll set up the attack. Taylor on the left wing lets it go. Right hand off the front line, out of bounds, directly to their right. Rebels on top, 14-11 on the station on main scoreboard.
5 kills for Violet in the set, total of 14 in the match.
Scott with the right-handed jump serve again, received in the back or the front row this time as they attack. That's blocked, kept alive. Back to the Rebels side as the Rebels will set up. Taylor, left wing, attack, right hand. Kept in the air, back to the Rebels side as it looks like they'll be able to set the attack up again. They do. Pugmire middle of the floor. That's pushed out of bounds by Adair as Haiti Pugmire picks up the kill. 15-11 on the station on main scoreboard. Scott will serve again. Right-handed jump serve over, received in the back row by the Buckaroos. They set up near side as that's punched over with the right hand by Young. Rebels go Taylor. She attacks right hand off of Adair, out of bounds as the Rebels pick up the point. 16-11 on the station on main scoreboard.
I'll jump on your bandwagon for Violet Taylor for a 1A Player of the Year, Aaron. 6 kills in the set.
And the team needed it as well. That serve goes into the net from Scott. 16-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As that'll happen sometimes with that jump serve where Hannah's trying to place it perfectly. You know, for as much of fits as it gives other teams, you know, I think you accept the once in a while it happens, as that's received by Smith. Rebels set up Pugmire, middle of the floor. She attacks left hand, kept high in the air by the Buckaroos. Going into the net is Barry to keep it alive, bumped over. Rebels have it on the attack. They set up Taylor, left wing with the right hand. She unloads, kept alive, diving up from Lewis, but they cannot get to it. 17-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard. I'd like to point out the heck of an effort from Hannah Barry crashing into the bench to keep that ball alive before the kill.
Used every bit of the court on that one.
Pugmire serve goes into the net. 17-13 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As she'll check out, Smith will check in. Hannah Barry will serve. Serve over, received by Argyle. Rebels set up the attack to Taylor, left wing. Tips it with that right hand, kept alive by Young. An attack from the back row finds Smith, kept alive as another attack kept alive by Ellsworth. Good defense there. Wallentine, middle of the floor attack, finds Lewis back row. They set up Kaylee Adair. That's off the hands of Wilson. Smith keeps it in the air, keeps it alive as Wilson runs back to keep it in the air. Great defense by the Rebels. Buckaroo set up the attack. It's Young, kept in the air by Smith. Smith's going to attack from the back row. Lets it go. Read well by the Buckaroos as Adair.
Going to call something on the Rebels. I'm not sure exactly what. But point goes to Monticello.
It's something against Paige Smith. I don't know what that is. I'd have to ask later. 17-14. That's a big point, though. As Young will serve. Make that Hannah Barry. Rebels will play it back over to Smith. She lets that go. Kept alive by the Buckaroos. Tipped over. Rebels look to set up the attack. They do. Taylor, left wing with that left hand. That's deflected off the front line down to the floor as Violet Taylor with the left hand that time makes it 18-14 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Wilson will serve. Serve over. Received in the back row by Lewis. They set up a 10-foot line attack that goes into the net. Rolls over, falls in on the Rebels side. 18-15 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Not much you can do there.
Nope, that ball had a mind of its own.
Young will serve. Received by Smith. Rebels set up the attack. Taylor on the left wing with that right hand that's blocked, kept alive. Smith chases it down, keeps it alive for the moment as Taylor with the reverse bump over. Buckaroos on the attack. They go middle of the floor. That finds Wilson. Rebels set up. Taylor, left wing, lets it go. Right hand deflected high in the air. Buckaroos are underneath it. They set up Barry. That's down the near sideline, and that's going to be a kill for Taylor Barry. 18-16 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Young will serve again.
I don't know how much Violet Taylor ran. It'd be nice to have a pattern on the court to see how much she covered of that one.
Serve over, received by Argyle. Rebels will play it to Taylor, who's going to bump it over from the left wing, 10-foot line. Kaylee Adair with the dig. They set up on the far side. That's too far out of bounds across that back line. As they tried to set up Taylor Barry, that one kind of felt rushed from the Buckaroos as their set attempt trying to set the pass up was a low line drive instead of allowing the attacker to get underneath it. Taylor will serve. That's received by the Buckaroos. An attack from Taylor Barry deflected high in the air back to the Buckaroos side as they set up Barry again. Wilson with the dig, back right corner. Ellsworth's going to bump it over from the front line. Buckaroos set up the attack, middle of the floor. That's off of Wallentine directly to the right, out of bounds. 19-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Buckaroos will serve with Pearson. Serve over, received by Smith. Rebels go middle of the floor to Ellsworth, who tips it over. Buckaroos set up on the attack. That's Lewis who picks up the kill. 19-18 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels up by 1 as Pearson will serve again. Serve over, received by Scott. Rebels go right back to Hannah on the left wing. She attacks, deflected that stays inbounds, actually. Doesn't matter. 20-18 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Scott picks up the kill. Smith will serve as Wallenstein checks out for Pugmire.
Her 13th, Hannah's 13th of the set, or the match, third of the set.
Smith will serve. Right-handed jump serve into the net. Can't have that, especially with a team hot on your tail, as the in-house scoreboard has the score at 20-18. Adair will serve.
I've got 2019, but we've also got an official talking to Coach Wasden about a substitution, I believe.
Wallenstein checked out for Pugmire, which happens
on a regular basis.
Yep.
Service errors 4 in this set, Aaron, and in a state championship match with every point being gold, those are costly. As I believe Milford just came away with a win right in front of us as we get our binoculars out to try to watch the Rebels in the next court.
It is 20-19. They do update the score. Not entirely sure what that was about. Adair with the serve. Received by Scott. Rebels set up the attack to Scott. Left wing lets it go. Right hand. That's blocked. And they're going to call a lift against the Buckaroos as that ball was underneath the net. They're trying to keep it alive. 21-19 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Ellsworth will serve. Ava gets the whistle, lets it go. Right hand. Ball goes into the net. 21-20 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Taylor Berry will serve. Berry gets the whistle. Lets it go with the right hand, received by Smith. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing. She'll just push it over with that left hand. That's going to fall in, though, as Hannah Scott with precision there. 22-20 on the Station on Main scoreboard as she'll go to the line to serve.
That's her 5th kill of the set, 15 in the match.
Scott with the right hand, tips the net, falls over to the Monticello side. They're going to have to push it over. Rebels set up their attack as Ellsworth digs that out back right corner. They go middle of the floor to Pugmire. She pushes it to the left-hand corner to Adair. They set up on the outside. Smith with a good dig to keep it alive as another attack. Ellsworth keeps this one alive as Scott plays it back to the middle of the floor. Ava bumps it over. Monticello on the attack. Middle of the floor for Lewis this time. That's off of Ava, out of bounds. 22-21 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Argyle will check in for Scott.
I just about lost the heartbeat.
Service errors have come back to really haunt the Rebels. They had 3 in a row, if I remember correctly. You know, it's no guarantee they get the point, but with the way it's been 50-50 on the services, or excuse me, on the rallies, as the Rebels received that one. Go Taylor, left wing. She lets it go, deflected high in the air. Buckaroos on the attack. As they go to Young. Good dig there by Argyle. Rebels set up Taylor, left wing, lets it go. Right hand off of Adair, out of bounds. 23-22 for the Rebels. They're on top by 2. As Smith's going to check out, Wallenstein's going to check in. Pugmire is going to serve.
Up by 1. Got to check your math, Aaron. You're going to get a timeout by the Buckaroos.
You're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ.
Welcome to the town of Randolph, located in northern Utah. The first group of settlers came from St. Charles, Idaho in March of 1870. We are a town of great extremes, from 90 degrees in the summer to minus 40 degrees in the winter, and we hold the record for the coldest temperature ever recorded in Utah at minus 50 degrees. Randolph is a small, friendly community that strives to preserve our rural heritage and small town feel. Enjoy the feeling each time you visit Randolph. Go Rebels!
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team, online at mylocalradio.com as Pugmire will serve. Rebels on top by 1, 23-22. Pugmire serve over, received in the back row, kept alive by the Buckaroos. Young will attack it. Ellsworth with a dig, that's going to go into the net. 23-23 on the station on main scoreboard as Hannah Berry will serve. And remember, Buckaroos down to their last 2 points. If they're unable to pull this one out, Rebels win. Serve received by Argyle, pushed over by Wilson. An attack from the back line, read well by Ellsworth. Rebels will set up an attack of their own. Taylor, left wing, tips it. Kept alive by Kaylee Adair. Played back to the middle where it's reverse bumped over. Rebels set up the attack. They go to Taylor, left wing, lets it go, right hand. Kept alive there by Hannah Berry. Pushed over by Young. Rebels set up the attack as Argyle digs it out. They go Taylor, left wing, lets it go, right hand, kept in the air. For the moment, goes into the net as it won't go as a kill, but the Rebels will take the point. And Rob, they are 1 point away from punching a berth in the state semifinals. And who else but the T7 Propane Standout Student of the Week, Casey Wilson, has a serve in her right hand, lets it go, ball over, received by the Buckaroos. That attack goes into the net, and the Rebels are going to the state semifinals tomorrow as they defeat the Monticello Buckaroos 25-23 here in set number 4, and they win 3-1 as the Rebels come away with a gutsy victory here as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ.
Dealing with computer problems can be frustrating and make you wish for your own personal IT guy. Now, everyone can afford an IT guy. Independent Software Solutions has served customers in Wyoming and Utah for over 20 years. We develop software, handle system and network administration, repair personal and business computers, and sell accessories. Independent Software Solutions is your one-stop computer business solution. Call today, 307-789-1978. Let Independent Software Solutions be your IT guy.
Great signage is an important component to any successful business. It lets your customers know they have arrived at your doors, and it's a constant advertisement of who you are. When you install LED signage, you're taking it one step further. The ability to create color messages that move is an attention grabber. Plus, you can change the message whenever you would like. Make your business stand out with an LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign, providing service, installation, and maintenance on all signage. Rocky Mountain Sign, licensed in Wyoming and Utah. Call today for a quote, 307-789-5202.
We're off to the rodeo. My Local Rodeo is proud to bring you live streaming coverage of high school rodeo from Utah and Wyoming, as well as the Intermountain Icebreaker of the National High School Rodeo Association's Western Legacy Series in 2023 and 2024. If you're interested in becoming a broadcast sponsor and advertising your business to the most loyal group of viewers in the country, you won't find a better opportunity. Call us today to claim your spot, 307-789-8116. That's 307-789-8116. We're off to the rodeo.
When participating in sports, there's always a lot to talk about performing at the top of your game. I'd like to expand on that and ask, how about performing at the top of your game in every part of your life? This is Dr. Todd Hoover with Hoover Chiropractic. I offer solutions to help improve all aspects of your game called life. Pain management, migraines, allergies, emotional release, nutritional supplements based on blood tests, and improved athletic performance. To help you perform at the top of your game every day, call today to schedule an appointment in Evanston or in Kemmer. Hoover Chiropractic, 307-789-0043.
Fast, fresh, delicious. 3 words that describe your experience every time you enjoy a delicious meal with Jimmy John's. Utilizing the freshest ingredients, home-baked bread, and professional sandwich building skills, the team at Jimmy John's always delivers a mouth-watering sandwich to satisfy any hunger. Jimmy John's. Freaky fast, freaky fresh. Visit any of our locations today in Evanston, Rock Springs, Sheridan, and Gillette.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth, as it is time for the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Recap on the Independent Software Solutions post-game show. And for that, we turn it over to Rob Leifson. Rob, what do you have for us?
Aaron, the first set, Rebels jump out on a quick attack, 25-11. Hannah Scott with 5 kills and seemed to dominate that first set. And no questions, going in the second set, did not look good. Rebels fall 23-25, 8 ties in the set. The Rebels did have a late lead, but the Buckaroos take the second set. Third set, you and I both started to look at each other with some questioning in our eyes as, let me find my stat sheet. They were down 7-13 at one point, and it did not look good. The Rebels looked like they were out of sync, and they were in trouble. The ship was going down, and we get a 12-1 run at the end of that set to take it 25-17. And then in the fourth set, goes back and forth a little bit. But the Rebels had a total of 30 kills in the first 3 sets combined, 18 kills in that fourth set for a total of 48 for the match. Credit Violet Taylor with 9 of them and 2 aces. Unfortunately, the 5 service errors kept the Buckaroos in that set. But Hannah Scott with 5 kills as well. And the Rebels take the 4 set 25-23 for a 3-1 victory.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that sometimes in a tournament you're not going to play your best every single match. And I think we can say without a doubt that I don't think the Rebels think they played their best match in this one, in set number 2 and 3 maybe, as it was tough. But you know what? You have to win games, and they've won games, Rob, so you don't apologize for how you win. You don't get extra points if you sweep all of your opponents, which the Rebels haven't done yet. But, you survive in advance, and you move on to the semifinals where suddenly, you win tomorrow, you're in the state championship game. So it's something that I think the Rebels are going to probably talk about in the next, time that we have until their next game. But it's also one of those things that it's not, you won. It's not really that big of a deal if you win. You just got to come out and you got to be ready to play tomorrow because the competition is going to ramp up.
You get Tabiona tomorrow at 11 o'clock, correct?
Absolutely. Well, I know it's Tabiona tomorrow, but I do not know what time the game is.
It is 11 o'clock in the morning, I do believe.
It is 11 o'clock, and that is our for short word. And we're going to move on to some post-game highlights after we come back from this commercial break. As you're watching the 2023 Your Troubles varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Established in 1872, Woodruff, Utah has a long history of good neighbors helping each other succeed. Woodruff was built with hard work, integrity, and a sense of community that can be felt every time you visit. We have always celebrated all students in academics and extracurricular activities, and we cheer on our rich Rebels. Woodruff, Utah, a great place to live.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. In the middle of 2023, Your Troubles varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ. Rebels win this one 3-1, as it is time for your Town of Woodruff post-match highlights. For that, we turn it over to Rob Leifson.
Well, I'll tell you what, Aaron. 18 kills, 9 in the first 3 sets for Violet, 18 in the match. That means she gets 9 in that decisive 4th set. Some of the best rallies we've probably seen all year long, and you can credit Ava Ellsworth with some amazing digs, Cassie Argyle with one that I thought was in the floor that she somehow got back up over, and my heart took some skips of a beat to those 5 service errors in that decisive 4th set when the ball does not even make that middle part of the net when you need a point desperately. So I'd say the highlights, a gutsy effort when in that 3rd set it looked like the ship was going down, and the Lady Rebels are able to find the will to win, and credit the coaches for getting them back on course.
Yeah, and it's late in the season. Tomorrow's the last day, obviously, but it doesn't really matter how you win. I know everyone wants to 3-set sweep 25-10, 25-10, 25-10, but as long as you score 25 first, that's really all that matters. And the Rebels were able to do so today. As when we come back, we'll have the precision play of the game as well as your play of the game as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Precision, the quality, condition, or fact of being exact and accurate.
Precision is important. Scoring the next point, making the perfect shot, getting the best score. And when you think of your dentist, you want precision to be the first word that comes to mind. That's why patients are so pleased with Dr. McKay Frankum. He provides precision family dentistry at reasonable prices to every patient. Dr. McKay Frankum, call today for an appointment.
Call Dr. McKay Frankum at 789-8910.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ. And it's time for your Dr. McKay Frankum precision play of the game. And for that, we turn it over to Rob Leifson.
Aaron, I wish we could go back and watch and time the point. It was one of the longest rallies we have seen all year long. Multiple times you thought the point was awarded to one side or the other, but somehow both teams kept it alive. Finally, Hannah Scott puts the ball away to end that rally, and that seemed to be a key on the momentum side. That one, you put forth that much effort, and you don't come away with that point. It is a heartbreaker, so I will call that the play of the game.
When we come back, we'll have your Crawford Troth player of the game and one last calendar update as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Whether you're having a great day or not, food always makes it better. Delicious, fresh-cooked favorites like a juicy cheeseburger, a thick raspberry shake, onion rings, fries, or a River Bridge soda. A grilled chicken wrap always hits the spot. And don't forget twisted ice cream cones. They never disappoint. Add the always friendly and helpful staff at the Crawford Trough, and you've got the perfect recipe for a perfect meal. Something tasty from the Crawford Trough always makes your day better. Stop in today. The Crawford Trough, Randolph.
Dealing with computer problems can be frustrating and make you wish for your own personal IT guy. Now, everyone can afford an IT guy. Independent Software Solutions has served customers in Wyoming and Utah for over 20 years. We develop software, handle system and network administration, repair personal and business computers, and sell accessories. Independent Software Solutions is your one-stop computer business solution. Call today, 307-789-1978. Let Independent Software Solutions be your IT guy.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth, as it is time for the Crawford Trough player of the game, the place to eat and drink on the Independent Software Solutions postgame show. And Rob, who do you got for us?
We're going to give it to Miss Hannah Scott. 15 kills in the match and 3 aces. And you saw it, Aaron. She would have a bullet down the sideline for a kill, and Monticello would come back the next time, and she'd give a two-hand push, precisely put in the corner of the court. They never knew what they were catching from her, either the fastball or the changeup. But we will give the player of the game to Hannah Scott for what we've talked about has been one of the keys to the Rebels' success is you need multiple attacks. Monticello seemed to shut down Violet there in some of those middle sets in the second and third set, and Hannah Scott came through for the Rebels, and they come away with the win.
I also credit Haiti Pugmire, Janie Wallenstein, Ava Elser with a couple of kills too. And you know, in a match like this, all of them are needed, all of them are important. There's no more importanter kill in a match like this. I know, bad English, that was kind of a joke. But, you know, it is what it is, but you're also getting attacks from a lot of different players. And I think you also have like a changeup now that you can throw into your roster, moving Haiti to the outside, Hannah to the inside. As Hannah, you give her the entire floor to work with. Obviously, when you're attacking from the outside, you have an angle. You only have so much. But from the middle, you have the entire floor. She has such good court vision that last year we talked quite a bit about how she would just tip the ball over every single one of the defenders and it'd land on the back row and it'd be a point for the Rebels. That's something I think she can do as well if you just switch it from inside to outside and, maneuvering that attack around, because Monticello really, really overloaded the floor to the outside. And then when the Rebels adjusted, that's when they went on that big run to end set number 3. So, there's a lot to like about this. Obviously, everyone wants to sweep and win 25-10, but, you face some adversity early that when you have to face adversity late in the game, or late in the tournament, they probably won't be that worried about it. As that is your Crawford Troth Player of the Game. It is time for your calendar update brought to you by Independent Software Solution Postgame Show. And for that, tomorrow, next broadcast will be at 11 o'clock. As 11 p.m., 10:30 Summit Pizza pregame show, as we'll have the Rich Rebels taking on the Tabiona Tigers. I'm Aaron Poling. That's Rob Leifson.
One other update, Aaron. Next Friday, 10 a.m., the football team at the Zions Bank Stadium in Harriman will be taking on Water Canyon. We anticipate.
So we don't officially know that yet, but
in 8-man semifinal.
Considering the score of the Whitehorse Water Canyon game the last time, it would nothing against Whitehorse to be a monumental upset if they were able to win, which they possibly could. It's playoff football. Never know what can happen. But until next time, I'm Aaron Poling. That's Rob Leifson. Go Rebels.
The proceeding has been a wholly owned production of MyLocalRadio.com and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, LLC, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Cook Brothers Broadcasting, LLC. Thank you for joining us for this sports presentation on MyLocalRadio.com.